WWE WrestleMania 37 Tampa. WWE superstar, the monster among men, Braun Strowman. Big steel cage match against Shane McMahon. Interesting dynamic, Braun, because you're this massive, huge man. And actually, Shane McMahon is playing the bully in sort of a reversal of roles. What has that concept been like?
It's been something that I've dealt with my whole life. As much as people kind of scratch their head about looking at me being 6'8", 385 pounds, and going, "What do you mean bullied?" There's all kinds of different bullying. Physically bullying, ain't too many people ever bullied me physically. Mentally, my whole life I've had to deal with it. For being big and, being larger than everybody else, I've had to deal with it. And, there's this stigma with, meatheads, and I proudly call myself a meathead because I work my butt off to look like I do. But there's this stigma that a lot of people want to attach to guys that are muscle-bound and, worry about the way they look, go to the gym, that they're not as intelligent as other people, that they're per se stupid. And, I'm going to make an example out of Shane McMahon. Not just for me, but, for everybody else out there that's had to deal with this, that's been singled out by somebody else for whatever reason and been picked on. Whether it's because they're a little overweight, or they're like me as a young kid that had a reading disability, and things like that. Or, your family's not as financially stable and you wear different clothes. This is all real life stuff that I've gone through in my life. And I think it's really cool being able to relate that into our show with my character to help send a message out there. To help send a message that you're not, you aren't what people say you are unless you believe it. That you are good enough. That you're not stupid. That the world wants you here and it's a better place because of it. And for you to stand up to your fears. So at the end of the day, man, I'm not just fighting Shane McMahon for myself and him, what he said and done with me. I'm fighting for millions and millions of people out there that looking for a reason to stand up for themselves. I'm showing you that it's okay to stand up for yourselves, that you don't have to deal with this, that bullies do not win in life.
It's so interesting too, Braun, because WWE, yourself, the WWE superstars, using the platform to create these cool storylines, these cool angles. Sometimes they're physical, sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're a battle, and sometimes they're educational. And WWE is about community service as well. Just what is it like for you being being a role model, being somebody out there that can send messages like that at times?
It's humbling. It really is really humbling, to know that I have an impact on basically random people that I may never meet in my life that are strangers. They could come and go in everyday passing. To know that what I'm doing on our television show with my character, that is inspiring them to make their lives better, man, it's what I do this for. Don't get me wrong, there's lots of cool that come with the fame and yada, yada, yada with doing this. But at the end of the day, man, I'm trying to leave the earth a little bit better than the way I found it. And the stories that I've heard from people in this storyline in the last year, with some things that I've opened up in the WWE Chronicles about that I've gone through with mental health and things like that, and my body transformation, and the millions of people around the world reaching out to me telling me thank you for what you're doing and speaking out and being vocal about mental health and different things. It's really cool, man, because there's a lot of times this job it's hard. Not just the physical demanding part of this job, the mental aspect of it, of missing your loved ones, being away all the time, missing weddings and births and funerals and everything else in between. At the end of the day, knowing that I'm helping people out there live a more confident and happy life, it makes it all worth it.
It does make it worth it. That is awesome. Now, WrestleMania 37, you and Shane McMahon in a steel cage. Shane's noted for taking high-risk moves. Have you watched anything back of Shane in past events, past matches, some of the things he does? And what do you think about competing in a steel cage?
Oh, yeah. I always do my homework on my opponents. And, let's be for real. Anybody that's ever watched wrestling has seen the crazy stuff that Shane McMahon's willing to put his body through. And I attest, I've seen it multiple times live. When Shane goes, he goes. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He gets the job done, and he's going to do something to make everyone go, holy crap. And, being that this is the second steel cage match in WrestleMania history, the last one being at WrestleMania 2, here we are 35 years later doing it again with the steel cage. And having a storyline going into it, this storyline's leading us back to almost November and things like that. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to going out there and doing our magic. At the end of the day, it's going to be ugly. This isn't going to be for a faint of heart. This isn't going to be a fancy technical wrestling match. This is going to be a fight. Like, I'm going out there to prove a point, like I said. And whatever Shane wants to try and do and jump off of, good luck. I can take a licking. Everybody that's ever watched me wrestle knows how much punishment that I can take. And now, with the mindset I have going into this, with knowing that there's millions and millions of people standing behind me, wanting to see me get my hands on Shane McMahon, I'm going in invincible. I ain't going to feel a thing until my hand's raised over my head and I stand over his body in the middle of that ring and show the world what happens to bullies.
Yes, and when you get these hands and destroy Shane O'Mac, and I know you don't worry, Braun Strowman, but is there a little worry from any ramifications from the boss or even the boss's daughter because of what you're going to do to Shane McMahon?
At the end of the day, I'm not even worried about it. Like I said, I'm there to prove a point. If they want to get mad about it, it is what it is. I'm going out there and I'm making an example out of Shane, and I'll have to deal with the repercussions of that. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens, I guess, after Saturday when they take him out of there on a stretcher.
Yes, and it is WrestleMania 37 Tampa, Saturday and Sunday. 2 big nights, 2 supercards, 2 shows. Tickets available on Ticketmaster. You could also watch it on Peacock in the U.S. and WWE Network elsewhere. This is great, and fans are going to be back for this one, which is really cool to see. Hey, I'm wondering, your former tag partner, Alexa Bliss, a little bit of a different persona. She's going to be there with Randy Orton going against the Fiend Bray Wyatt. And I'm just wondering, you're known as the monster among men. Could we say that Alexa right now is the monster among women?
Man, you could probably call her something like that. I don't know what's going on with Alexa. She scares me. Like, I've passed her a couple times in the hallway in the back in the last couple months, and she's a completely different person. I don't know what's happened, what the Fiend has done to her, but she's not the sweet, innocent Miss Bliss that I met years ago when we were having fun in the Mismatched Tag Championships. Something's happened to her, and I'm nervous for Randy. I'm nervous for Randy that he's not only, he's facing the Fiend. I've been in the ring with the Fiend. I know Bray Wyatt better than probably anybody on this planet. I just wish the best for Randy in the end of it all.
And that is so true, because you were aligned with him and you went against him as well. It's such an interesting career journey that you've had so far. And in closing, we'll wrap this up. Braun, thank you so much for the time. What would you like fans to know, just everybody out there to know, just about WWE WrestleMania 37, Tampa, Raymond James Stadium?
Man, the biggest thing is anybody that's there live in attendance, I'm so excited to see you. It's been over a year since I've heard the WWE Universe, and man, be loud for everybody. We're going to go out there and continue to bust our butts like we've done this entire time without you. It's time for y'all to have fun with us. Get out of your seats. Scream. If you leave Tampa this weekend and you have a voice, you didn't have as much fun as you should have. Everybody is going on a ride this weekend. We're all in this together. It's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to see everybody this weekend.
Thank you, the monster among men, Braun Strowman.